And joining us now to discuss is Republican Representative Mike Waltz from Florida. Representative Waltz, thank you so much for coming on today. We appreciate it. As we just heard from Owen, in addition to weapons and ammunition, the U.S. will also be sending an additional $500 million in financial assistance to Ukraine for pensions and salaries, as well as government programs. How important is that assistance? And also, how do we ensure that the people who need that money receive it?
Well, that's a great question. And look, it's good that we're giving this aid, particularly the heavy weapons. But I have to put it in the category of too little and too late. I was out in Ukraine last year, and the Ukrainians then were begging for more sophisticated weapons, the Stingers, the anti-ship missiles, the artillery, the drones. And time after time, the answer that they were getting from the Biden White House was those things would be too offensive, too provocative, too escalatory, and essentially let Putin deter us from providing the aid when it would have been most helpful before the invasion, either to deter him or so that the Ukrainians had it on day one. Again, I guess better late than never in that sense. But what I'm still very frustrated at are these holes that are all over the sanctions. The Europeans are still buying hundreds of billions of cubic meters of Russian gas to provide billions of dollars to Putin's war machine every week. The Chinese are absolutely still doing business. In fact, their ties are getting greater and closer. The Indians, the Brazilians, the South Africans. So while these numbers sound impressive and in Europe is standing more and more unified, there are all kinds of backdoors. And I think that's why you're seeing the Russian ruble recover, and you're seeing the Putin war machine continue. There's a lot more we can and should be doing.
Yeah, I want to ask you about this. Russia recently did a missile test of a new intercontinental ballistic missile. What more can you tell us about that and what that signals? How concerning is that?
Well, two things here. Number one, this is Russia's newest modern ICBM that they can put a hypersonic missile on that can defeat our air defenses as it stands. They've modernized. We've seen how bad the Russian conventional military is performing, but their nuclear arsenal actually has been modernized at the same time the Biden administration is not supporting a modernization of our nuclear triad, which is the ICBMs, the submarines, and the bombers. And the second point is that Putin is testing these systems to send a message that they work, they're modern, and he's willing to use them. At the same time, the Biden administration is hiding our tests or telling the Pentagon to delay the tests of our systems. That's not how deterrent works. We need to show Putin that our nuclear capability is still very capable as well. And the last thing we should be doing is hiding those capabilities, which will embolden him.
All right. Well, thank you so much. We want you to stick around because coming up a little bit later in the show, we want to talk to you about your new children's book.
Thank you. Happy to.